Hey, welcome back. It's Dad, Son, and a Game. We have been off for a while, but we're back. Today we're going to take a look at
Cinque
yeah,
Terre.
Cinque Terre. From now on, we're going to call it the Five Villages.
Yeah, you may think it's like Chua, something like that.
So, it's been a while since we've done one of these. What the was called? Okay, I'm so far from Italian that the light from Italy won't reach me for like several years. So, I'm going to only say this one time, and I'm going to say it very wrong. And I say Cinque Terre is how I say this. From now on, I'm going to call this game the Five Villages. This game is that name is what's killing this game. I'm almost certain of it because this game is really fun. Everyone I've played it with has had a lot of fun with it, and I'm going to give you a real quick rules explanation on this. Not entirely, but just kind of get an idea of how the game works. So basically, what the theme of the game is we're produce delivery guys who are delivering produce through these five villages in Italy. And the way how we find out our prices of our produce is we roll these die, and I rolled too many there. You'd roll one at a time if you were actually setting the game up, but then you put them there on these different spots. The instructions will give you better directions on how the different die go different places. But it's pseudo random. Well, pretty random actually. And so that's going to tell us, how much these goods deliver for of the different colors in these different villages. And so I'm delivering these goods on my. It's like a little. I don't know what you want to call it. It's like a little Vespa type scooter pickup thing. And you start in one of these fields, and I have orders. I have one order that I start with that is going to be really high powered, and then the game has some orders out that I can try and fulfill for points as well. So I'm trying to fulfill these orders, and I'll have a picture of one of these orders up for you. But basically, this card here, you probably can't see it, but it says I want to deliver a tomato to this village that starts with a V. A pomodori to Vernaza. I can't say this stuff, but at any rate, so I'm gonna try and get a tomato. And the way how I do that is I have a starting hand of some like orders basically, or like vouchers for produce. So these are the produce cards. Let's say I started off with. I have two algae, which are garlic, and two olive, which are olives. So I would drive to where I want to go. And the black cubes are the olives, the white cubes are the garlic, the red cubes, the tomato that I want to try and deliver over here to Renaza is over here, this red cube. So I'm going to start my truck here because even though I don't have the goods cubes to pick up the red, I can always pay two matching cards to pick up a red cube. So I'm going to get a red cube, and then here's my little board. I stick my good in there. And then I move around here to Renaza using the movement rules, and then I deliver this good there, and then I stick the good right there on the board, and then I've delivered that one good there. And then as I keep going through the game, I'm gonna deliver more goods, pick them up in my truck, deliver them different places, and then I sell them for the amount of points that it shows on the die there. And if there is no die to match, I can still deliver there. So there was no red die up here where I delivered at. That would only give me 1 point. And there's a points tracker on the outside of the board there to keep track of our points during the game. But if I completed my order, then I'm able to get the 15 points or whatever this says that I get when I complete my order. So basically, I'm just driving these little Vespa scooters around. Every turn, I get to do up to 4 actions, or up to 3 actions actually out of 4 choices. One action that you can always do is draw a card. That's one action that's going to cost you right there. You can always harvest a produce, and that's one location's worth of produce. So if I had a bunch of orange, white, and green cards, you can't really see real well in this video probably, but I would be able to go to this field here and pick up as much of this produce from this one location as I had cards to pick up for one action. I also can deliver to one town as an action. So I can carry up to 4 goods. I could deliver all 4 goods to one town if I wanted to. Or I could, travel. That's another option I have. I can move up to 4 spaces. And I always have to move clockwise. So there's a big kind of triangle on the board here. So I'm always moving clockwise up to 4 spaces. And then finally, I am able to. Oh, that's it. So that's all the actions I can do. And it's been a while since I've done one of these little explanations here. I'm trying to tell you a lot of things here in a very short amount of time, but I think that gives you an idea of how the game works. That you pick up produce in these fields based on these order cards that you have, or not order cards, like vouchers for produce, and you're trying to fulfill orders. One other kind of interesting thing about this game is you do start off with like a super order that's going to be worth 30 points minus whatever the market value was of your card. So this one says I need to deliver all these goods to these different cities, and then I would subtract the amount of points that I initially got for them. So usually your orders are worth about like between 15 and 20 points because you're going to get some points for delivering things along the way. And everyone has one of these that's secret. The other way you can get secret order cards is as the game plays out, I'm going to have 3 orders that are face up on the play area here. And so as I complete one of these orders, I can take one of the cards, and then the next card, I get to look at it if I've completed that order secretly and decide if I want to keep that as a secret objective or lay it down for everyone to get a shot at. Now the disadvantage is every order card that I have, every good that I don't complete the order for, I get negative 5 points. So that's pretty problematic. So something to always be thinking about. At any rate, that's the 5 villages in a very quick look at how it plays. This is a game that has not gotten near enough attention. It's a very good game. So yeah, Cinque Terre, you win the game by getting the most points. You get points by completing orders. And then there's one other thing I didn't mention in the little run through there. You can become a favorite vendor of any given city. So if you fill up your whole row on your card first with goods that you deliver in any given city, then you become the favorite vendor or preferred vendor, and you get an additional 8 points, or 10 points, or 12 points, depending.
On how big the city is, or
yeah, exactly. How many goods it likes to take. So, anyway, what do you think of it, Luke?
I like how the system works out by rather than going anywhere and kind of being like, am I gonna go here? It's more realistic, and it's like you're a cart going on a rotation for the day.
Yeah.
For 5 villages.
There's like a big one-way road that goes through the whole thing.
Right, and I feel like the theme really matches it. Like, you feel like you're growing those crops and you're trying to sell them and make a living off it. So, yeah. Although one thing that I could be better on components is the veggies and stuff. They're kind of just cubes. So
yeah. It'd probably been really... I think I like the wooden cubes better than if they made plastic crops or if they had like little tokens, though. So you like it overall?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Here are the things that I feel are good about this game. It's a gateway game almost. A little heavy on the gateway spectrum. It's not a heavy game. It's really simple. You know, match up these deliveries with these types of vegetables in these cities, and you get points. Use these actions to do it. And it's something you can teach somebody in about 10 minutes, but it's something that you can get fairly strategic with, a lot of decisions to make in there. But this is one that I would say, if you're trying to introduce some non-gamers to games, this is one that you could say, hey, check this one out. It's kind of interesting. You play Ticket to Ride, now let's try this one. And there's not a lot of games in that group where it's like easy to find an accessible game, but it's not the same thing over and over again. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but I think it's just that next step after an initial gateway game for people. And it's fun enough that I've introduced this to several people, a lot of gamers, people who are just way into heavy games, and they all like it. They say, oh, that's a neat little game. So I think it's a good game. The positives are definitely the weight of it. It's a simple game, but there's some thought process to it. The cards are beautiful. I think the artwork on the cards, it looks like, I don't know, like vintage Italian decor, and it's just really cool. I think this winter when we played it, it kind of gave you a little like Mediterranean breeze, kind of, you know what I mean, to feel like, hey, I'm getting a little trip in Italy. So it's thematic, and the art really helps bring that theme out. And it's fun. I mean, it's a theme that I've never played. I don't think there's any other scooter delivery in Italy games out there. I mean, it's goods delivery, but it's a little bit different take on it. And they could have used really any theme on it, but the Italian produce thing was really cool, and it fits the game and the weight of it. I think it's just a nice package. It all goes together really well.
Also, I feel like Rio Grande Games is really good at making those gateway games. So, like, boxcars, for example. I mean, it's pretty complex, but we have some more complex ones
Yeah.
at the same time.
I mean, they made Dominion too, which is a game that a lot of people are really into and got them into gaming. So, yeah, Rio Grande did put this game out, and you expect certain things with the Rio Grande game, like high production values. That's definitely apparent on this game, and that it's not going to be a real complex game. It's a very family friendly game. There's not a lot of luck. I mean, there's some luck, but it's mitigated because it's the same for everyone. So you're going to roll the die at the beginning of the games, and I didn't really explain that very well in the thing either. You're going to roll the die to get your prices for your goods, and so once that's determined, you're done with die. Everything else is done with just actions and action points. So that's about it. I like it a lot. What do you rate it?
Probably in a number rating, a 8, probably, just because it's simple, easy to pull out and play, and I like the art a lot, just because it looks very beautiful. It looks like a nice little island.
Yeah. I don't know what I have this one rated at. The good things about it are, like I said, the art and the package all goes together really well. It's a nice weight that you can play with about anybody. The negatives on it are it gets pretty repetitive, and it is the weird thing about it is it's a good weight to just pull out and play, but it requires a lot of concentration, honestly, to play it. And so, I mean, I don't know. It's kind of in that middle gap too between like a filler game and a main course kind of game. So that's a little weird on it too, but it's one that I'm gonna hang on to in my collection for now. And it's one of those games too that when I looked at the ads for it on Board Game Geek and different places, it didn't have any interest to me at all. I'm not even sure why I bought it. I think maybe after I looked at it a little more, I was like, oh, that's not bad. But I was thinking it was like a Le Havre or Le Havre type game, or I don't know, like a standard medieval themed. I don't know, like I think the language thing on it just kind of drove me away. If this game was called in the United States The Five Villages, and you understood that this is a game about a guy on a scooter who's an independent produce delivery guy, I mean, it's entrepreneurial and it's fun, I think it would do a lot better. But it's definitely worth checking out. A lot of fun. I recommend it.
You're right. Like, I mean, I never really saw an ad for it because I don't typically go on Board Game Geek every day, but wait, I don't really ever go on Board Game Geek. Anyway, back on subject. You're right. If it were to just say, like, this game is about you're being on a scooter, you're trying to make a living off growing crops and selling it in Italy, I'm pretty sure it would intrigue a lot of people.
What was that word?
Intrigue?
Intrigue?
Or intrigue. Intrigue.
You're funny.
I have a bad vocabulary.
No, he doesn't. He has a great vocabulary. Okay, so that's that Cinque Terre, which I'm saying so wrong. The Five Villages. We both think it's pretty good, and my wife will play it. She thinks it's okay. I don't think this is one that she's going to request off the shelf, but she thinks it's okay. So this is definitely one that is worth checking out.